Right now, your mind is shaping your life. You hear a constant stream of thoughts telling you what you can and cannot do. Have you ever felt trapped by worry, as if your own ideas were holding you back? Can you sense the tightness in your chest when doubt shows up? In the next few minutes, you will discover clear steps to take control of your thinking and find calm under pressure. You will learn simple habits to replace fear with confidence. And you will see how daily choices can turn what feels impossible into something you can achieve. You will hear honest examples and feel how these practices can change your energy, focus, and results. This content is built for real action you can use immediately. Get ready to transform your thinking and your life, starting today. Stay tuned until the end for your first step forward now. Number 1, train your mind daily with focused thoughts. You know what the real battle is? It's not with the world. It's not with your job. It's not with your past. It's with your own mind. The battle is in that quiet space between your ears, where nobody else can hear. But you hear it loud, that voice, the doubts, the excuses, the distractions, the fears. That's where it all begins, and that's where it all ends. If you don't train your mind to focus, someone else or something else will take over, and it won't be for your benefit. You've got to decide today what kind of life you want to live. Do you want to react to the world, or do you want to create your world? That answer lies in what you allow your mind to think about every single day. Because your life will always move in the direction of your dominant thought. That's why this first step is non-negotiable. Train your mind daily with focused thoughts. Focus is power. But focus doesn't show up on its own. It's built. Just like a muscle. You train it. You practice it. You build it. And it starts small. It starts when you wake up. What's the first thing you feed your mind? Most people grab their phone. They scroll. They react. They start their day in chaos. They wake up and hand over their mind to the world. And then they wonder why life feels scattered and overwhelming. It's because the mind is running wild with no direction, no purpose, no discipline. I'm telling you, your mind will believe whatever you tell it often enough. And if you don't train it to focus on the right things, it'll run straight to the wrong things. Fear, doubt, distraction, anger, regret. It doesn't take any effort to think negatively. That's automatic. But focused thought, that's intentional. That's a skill. And the people who build that skill, they're the ones who rise. They're the ones who break free. They're the ones who look calm when everyone else is falling apart. You've got to start taking responsibility for what lives in your head. Not everything deserves your attention. Not every thought is true. And not every feeling is a fact. You have the right to choose what you focus on. But most people never make that choice. They live on autopilot. Their thoughts are all over the place. So their life is all over the place. You've got to slow it down. You've got to sit with yourself, and you've got to ask, what am I feeding my mind? Start small, 5 minutes a day. Sit down, close your eyes, and focus on one single thought that empowers you. Maybe it's I am in control of my mind. Maybe it's I have the power to change. Maybe it's I am not my past. Hold on to that thought. Breathe it in. When your mind wanders, and it will, gently bring it back. That's training. That's focus. And that's how you begin to break the cycle. You don't need to change your whole life in one day. But you do need to start changing what you focus on. If you wake up every day and focus on your weaknesses, your failures, your mistakes, that's exactly what your brain will multiply. But if you start each day focused on strength, growth, purpose, direction, your mind will begin to work in your favor. Not against you. This is not about pretending that life is perfect. This is about learning how to steer your thoughts even when things feel out of control. Especially when things feel out of control. Anyone can think clearly when life is easy. But strength is built when you choose to focus during chaos. That's what separates the strong from the average. The strong train their minds to see clearly, to think strategically, and to move forward no matter how they feel. This takes discipline. You've got to protect your mental space like your life depends on it. Because it does. You can't let everyone and everything walk through your mind without permission. You've got to guard your input. What you watch, what you listen to, who you spend time with, it all matters. Your focus is too valuable to waste on things that drain you. If it's not building you up, it's breaking you down. And let me tell you something real. You don't need more motivation. You don't need more inspiration. You need structure. You need routine. You need the kind of self-respect that says, I don't miss the work. even on the days I don't feel like it. That's how you build mental toughness. That's how you take control. That's how you develop focus. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's daily training. Start writing your thoughts down. Put your focus on paper. Get clear on what you want. Get specific. Say it. Think it. Repeat it. That's how you rewire your mind. That's how you take back control. Don't just wait for life to change. Change your thoughts, and your life will follow. You've been through enough pain. You've seen what happens when you let your mind drift into darkness. You've seen what it feels like to doubt yourself, to delay your goals, to waste your time. You don't want that anymore. You're here because you're ready to take back your power, and that starts in your mind. So start today. Focus your thoughts. Train your mind. You don't need permission. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need commitment. Every single day, make time, even when it's hard, even when it's boring, even when nobody sees it. That's where the change happens. Quietly, consistently, day after day. You are capable of building a strong mind. You are capable of focus. You are capable of control. You are not your past. You are not your doubts. You are what you choose to focus on. And if you train your mind daily with focused thoughts, there is nothing, absolutely nothing that can stop you from overcoming anything in your way. This is your time. This is your power. The work begins in your mind. Number 2. Replace negative self-talk with empowering beliefs now. You will never rise above the words you speak to yourself in silence. That voice in your head, that voice becomes your story. And if you're not aware of what it's saying, it's easy to live a life that isn't even yours. Most people don't fail because they lack talent or potential. They fail because they keep listening to a voice that tells them they can't. They wake up every day carrying the weight of words they didn't choose, thoughts they didn't challenge, and beliefs they never questioned. But you are not powerless. You are not stuck. You are not broken. You just need to take back control of that voice. You need to replace the negative self-talk that has been holding you back with new beliefs that pull you forward. And not tomorrow. Now, right now. Because every moment you wait, that old voice gets stronger, and that's a risk you cannot afford. Think about the things you say to yourself on a bad day. When you make a mistake, when someone lets you down, when you feel tired, behind, overwhelmed, what do you say? I'm not good enough. I always mess things up. Nothing ever works out for me. These thoughts don't sound loud, but they hit hard. And when you hear them enough times, they start to feel true. They shape how you walk into a room. They shape how you treat yourself. They shape what you think you deserve. It's not the outside world that limits you. It's what you keep repeating inside. That's where the damage starts. But here's the good news. If you can talk yourself down, you can talk yourself back up. The mind listens. It always listens. So if you feed it fear, fear grows. But if you feed it strength, it will begin to rebuild. And I'm not talking about surface level motivation. I'm talking about real change that starts when you take responsibility for your inner voice. You can't afford to be your own worst critic anymore. You can't keep calling yourself names, expecting your life to rise, because your words are instructions. When you say, I'm not smart enough, your brain finds proof. When you say, I'll never make it, your energy drops. But when you say, I can learn, your mind opens. When you say, I'm capable, your body follows. That's the shift. That's how it starts. Look back. Think about the voices you grew up hearing. Maybe someone told you you wouldn't succeed. Maybe they told you you were too sensitive, too lazy, and maybe over time, you started to believe it. But hear this now, you don't have to carry that voice anymore. You can let it go. You can outgrow it. But you have to replace it with something new. Something true. Something powerful. That means creating new beliefs. Beliefs that serve you, not sabotage you. Start small. Catch the negative voice. Interrupt it. Don't let it finish the sentence. When you hear, I can't, respond with, I'm learning. When you hear, I'm not enough, respond with, I'm growing stronger every day. Don't let the old script run without challenge. You have the pen now. You decide how the story goes from here. This isn't about lying to yourself. It's about choosing to believe in the part of you that wants more. The part of you that knows you're capable, even if you haven't seen the results yet. The part of you that's been buried under years of doubt and disappointment. That part of you is still alive, and it's time to give it a voice. Speak to yourself like someone worth believing in. Because if you don't, who will? Start practicing it, even if it feels awkward. Write it down. Say it out loud. Look in the mirror and speak strength over your own life. Not once. Every day. Until the voice in your head starts sounding like a coach. instead of a critic. This is what builds resilience. This is how you show up differently. You stop letting the past do the talking. You stop repeating other people's fears. You create your own language, your own truth, your own story. And you keep saying it until it takes root. The truth is, most people never do this work. They keep recycling the same thoughts year after year, hoping something outside will fix what's broken inside. But nothing changes out there until something changes in here. In your mind, in your words, in your beliefs. You want real change? You want power? Then you've got to make a decision. Right here, right now. No more calling yourself names. No more settling for less. No more tearing yourself down every time things get hard. You start speaking life into your journey. You start reminding yourself what you've already survived. You start believing that your future is bigger than your fear. And when those old thoughts try to come back, and they will, you don't panic. You don't run. You recognize them for what they are. Old habits, outdated software, and you upgrade it with something better. You say, that used to be my belief, but I've outgrown it. That one line, said often enough, will change the entire direction of your life. You've got to want this. You've got to believe that your thoughts matter. Because once you get that part right, the rest of your life begins to shift. You stop chasing approval. You stop needing validation. You start walking in purpose. You start choosing peace. You start becoming someone you respect. So start now. Choose your thoughts like your life depends on it. Because it does. Talk to yourself like someone who's healing, like someone who's rising, like someone who's ready for more. Because the moment you change your self-talk, you change the entire atmosphere around you. You are not here to repeat the past. You are here to rewrite your future. Speak like it, think like it, live like it, because what you believe on the inside will show up on the outside. And the voice that becomes the loudest in your life, that's the one that wins. Choose your voice, choose your words, choose your beliefs. Replace the ones that hurt you with the ones that build you. Do it now and never look back. Number 3, practice staying calm during pressure and chaos. When everything around you is spinning out of control, the greatest strength you can have is the ability to remain calm. Not because the situation is easy, but because you've trained yourself not to panic. Because you've built a mind that doesn't collapse under pressure. That calm you see in people who lead, who rise, who win, it's not luck. It's not something they were born with. It's something they built through practice, through repetition, through choosing composure again and again, even when it felt impossible. You know the feeling. Something happens. Plans fall apart. Someone says something that hits a nerve. A door slams. Your heart races. Your thoughts speed up. You feel it in your chest, in your breath, in your stomach. And before you even realize it, you're reacting. You're saying things you didn't mean. You're making decisions from fear, not clarity. That's what chaos does. It pulls you out of your center and into survival mode. But you can train your mind to respond differently. You can learn to stay calm when everything else screams for reaction. Calm isn't weakness. Calm is control. When you can keep your head clear during a storm, you gain an edge most people never experience. Because in chaos, most people lose themselves. They give in to panic. They rush. They quit. They say things they regret. But those who learn to pause, breathe, and choose their next move, they rise while others fall apart. They think clearly. They act with intention. They keep their power. This isn't about pretending things are fine when they're not. It's about giving yourself the space to respond with strength instead of reacting from fear. And that space, that pause between what happens and how you respond, that's where your power lives. But that space doesn't come natural. You have to build it. It starts with awareness. You've got to catch yourself in the moment. Not after, not later when the damage is done. In the moment. You feel the tension rising, you notice it. You don't fight it, you breathe into it. You create just enough distance to say, I'm not gonna let this control me. You remind yourself, I can't control what's happening, but I can control how I show up in it. The world will always bring pressure. People will disappoint you. Plans will fall through. That's not the problem. The problem is when you let those things decide your emotional state. You've got to train yourself to be steady, even when life is shaky. Because the truth is, pressure doesn't break you. Your response to pressure does. So how do you practice staying calm? You do it when it matters least, so you're ready when it matters most. You build the habit daily, when you're stuck in traffic, when someone interrupts you, when plans change. Those small moments are your training ground. That's where composure is built. Not in the big crises, but in the little frustrations that test your patience and steal your attention. Every time you choose calm, you're rewiring your brain. You're teaching yourself that chaos doesn't get to lead. Breath is one of your most powerful tools. It sounds simple, but it's a game changer. When your breath is shallow, your thoughts are fast. When your breath is slow, your thoughts slow down too. The next time pressure shows up, focus only on one thing, your breath. In through your nose, hold, out your mouth. Do it again and again. That's how you lower your emotional temperature. That's how you stop your mind from spinning. You anchor yourself. You take control. Another key is to stop taking everything personal. Pressure often feels worse because we think everything that goes wrong is about us. It's not. People's actions reflect them, not you. Circumstances don't always follow logic. Life isn't always fair. And if you spend your energy trying to make sense of every unfair moment, you'll lose yourself in the noise. Your job is not to control the chaos. Your job is to stay calm enough to rise above it. You gotta know who you are when things go wrong. That's your power. Anyone can be kind when they're rested. Anyone can be focused when it's quiet. But can you be patient when nothing is going your way? Can you be calm when the pressure is building and everyone around you is losing their grip? That's when the real work shows. That's when your discipline is revealed. And discipline is exactly what it takes. Don't wait for calm to come find you. Create it. Build it into your routine. Take 5 minutes each morning to sit in stillness. No noise, no phone, just your breath and your thoughts. Learn to sit with discomfort instead of running from it. When chaos comes, it won't feel foreign. You'll recognize it. You'll know how to meet it. You'll have practiced. People spend their lives reacting, but you're building the ability to respond. That changes everything. It changes how you handle failure. It changes how you face fear. It changes how people trust you. Calm is not passive. Calm is leadership. Calm is earned. And once you have it, no one can take it from you. Pressure is not your enemy. It's your teacher. It reveals where you still need work. It shows you where you default to fear. That's not something to avoid. That's something to learn from. Every time chaos visits, it gives you a chance to grow stronger, to respond better, to stay grounded. You either get pulled into the storm, or you become the eye of it. You know who you are. You've survived too much to fall apart now. The panic you feel, it's not the truth. It's a signal. It's asking you to slow down. It's asking you to choose power over reaction. And you can, because calm is not about what's happening around you. It's about what's happening inside you. And that is always your choice. You don't need to master it today, but you do need to begin. Practice today. The next time something doesn't go your way, don't react. Observe, pause, breathe, speak only what adds value. Move only when your mind is clear. That's what growth looks like. That's how confidence is built. That's how you become unshakable. It's not about being perfect. It's about being prepared. Life will test you. People will misunderstand you. Pressure will show up uninvited, but you're calm. Your ability to stay centered, focused, and unbothered. That's your edge. That's your strength. And that is something no one can give you. You've got to build it. You've got to earn it, one decision at a time, so the next time chaos knocks on your door, you won't panic. You'll welcome it like a coach welcomes a challenge, because you've practiced, you've trained, and you're ready. Calm is not something you wait for. It's something you become, starting now. Number 4, visualize success until it feels completely real. If you can see it clearly in your mind, you're already halfway there. The people who win in life, the ones who turn their dreams into reality, all have one thing in common. They see their success before it happens. Not once, not sometimes, every single day. They live it in their imagination long before they ever touch it with their hands. That's not some trick. That's strategy. That's how you rewire your brain to believe in a future that hasn't happened yet. You see, most people don't fail because they don't work hard. They fail because they can't picture anything different than what they already know. They only replay the same story, the same struggle, the same pain, and their mind becomes a loop of limitation. That's why visualizing success is not some optional feel-good activity. It's essential. If you can't see it, you won't chase it. If it doesn't feel real inside you, you'll never go the distance it takes to build it outside you. Close your eyes for a moment and ask yourself, what do you really want? Not just the goal, but but the experience. How does it feel to walk into that room with confidence? How does it feel to wake up with purpose, to speak with power, to build the life that reflects your worth? Can you feel the texture of that life, the energy, the freedom? Because if you can't feel it now, when it's quiet, when it's just you and your thoughts, you'll never find the courage to go after it. When life gets loud, you've got to make your vision so clear that your mind doesn't know the difference between what's imagined and what's real. Your brain is wired to believe whatever you feed it consistent. That means you can't just hope you succeed. You have to live it inside your mind until it becomes your truth. Every time you picture yourself winning, your nervous system aligns with that image. Your confidence grows, your focus sharpens, and your actions begin to follow. The problem is, most people spend more time rehearsing failure than they do visualizing success. They imagine things going wrong. They imagine people laughing at them. They picture rejection, embarrassment, loss, and they rehearse that version so often. It becomes automatic. They don't even realize they're sabotaging themselves. You can't expect to feel powerful if the only movie playing in your mind is one where you fall apart. So change the channel. Start creating mental pictures that serve you. See yourself walking into opportunity. See yourself making the right decisions. See yourself healthy, strong, resilient, fulfilled. Do it again and again until the image sticks. Until it no longer feels like fantasy. Until it feels like who you already are. And don't just imagine the result. Visualize the process. See yourself showing up early. See yourself staying focused when others quit. See yourself choosing growth when it's uncomfortable. That's what makes the vision powerful. It's not just about the finish line. It's about building the mindset that gets you there. You might be thinking, but what if I don't believe it yet? That's okay. That's where it starts. You're not supposed to believe it fully at first. That belief comes with repetition. It comes when you keep peeling up in your imagination. Again and again. No matter how far the goal seems. Belief isn't something you wait for. It's something you build by choice. And here's the key. Don't wait for evidence. If you only believe after things start working out, you'll never build the mental strength to push through the moments when nothing's working. Visualizing success is about creating certainty inside you before you see it outside you. You've got to feel the win when the scoreboard still says you're behind. Start setting time aside daily to picture your success in detail. First thing in the morning, last thing before bed. Make it a ritual. Make it personal. Don't just think it, see it. Hear the applause. Feel the handshake. Taste the moment. Smell the air. Immerse yourself in that world like it already belongs to you. The more real it feels, the more natural your progress becomes. And don't keep your vision quiet. Write it down. Speak it out loud. Tell yourself what's possible. Not once a year. Every day. You're not repeating words to convince the world, you're repeating them to convince your subconscious. And when your subconscious buys in, that's when you start taking action that matches your future, not your past. Look at any person who made a breakthrough in their life. They didn't get there by accident. They saw it first, over and over. They walked through every door in their mind before they ever stepped through it in real life. That's how it works. That's how you take control of your reality. You build it first, where no one else can see inside your own mind. This is your time. And if you've never been taught how to dream clearly, how to create vivid pictures of the life you want, that ends now. Because now you know the truth. You're not stuck. You're just imagining the wrong outcome. And you can change that. Not tomorrow. Not when things settle down. Right now. Sit still. Close your eyes and start creating the version of you who doesn't quit, who doesn't doubt, who doesn't hide from pressure. That version is already inside you. You don't need to become someone else. You just need to see more clearly who you really are and hold that picture long enough that your current habits start to shift toward it. Because they will. They always do. What you focus on expands. What you visualize, you attract. What you feel deeply, you eventually live out. There are people out there with less talent, less opportunity, less support than you. And they're winning. Not because they're better, but because they imagined it longer. They believed harder. They didn't quit when the vision felt far away. They held on. You can too. So decide right now. You're done playing small in your mind. You're done running mental loops that tear you down. You're going to feed your imagination something worth chasing. You're going to show up every day and picture your best life until it feels completely real. Because when your mind believes it, your life starts building it. Every conversation, every decision, every moment becomes a brick in that future. You don't need permission to start. You just need a picture that pulls you forward. So create it, own it, live it, first in your mind, then in your actions, and finally, in your reality. Number 5, challenge every limiting belief without hesitation. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is the belief that you can't have it. That belief, that quiet, convincing thought that whispers, not you is the real enemy. And if you don't challenge it, if you don't confront it head on, it will run your life without you even realizing it. You'll talk yourself out of opportunities. You'll shrink in rooms meant for your growth. You'll settle for less. Not because you have to, but because a false belief told you that you should. Everyone carries limiting beliefs. They're built early. Sometimes from the words of a parent, sometimes from failure, sometimes from rejection. And they don't always sound cruel. Sometimes they sound reasonable. I'm just not a confident person. People like me don't make it that far. I've never been good at that. But no matter how they sound, they all do the same thing. They put a ceiling on your potential. But you were not born with those beliefs, you learned them. And anything learned can be unlearned. Anything built in your mind can be torn down and rebuilt stronger. But it requires something most people never do. You've got to challenge every single thought that limits you without delay, without hesitation. Because every second you hesitate, that belief gains more control over your decisions. Look back at your life. Think about the chances you didn't take, the moments you held back, the dreams you shelved. What if the only reason you didn't go further wasn't your circumstances, but the belief that you couldn't go further? That's the truth for most people. They're not being blocked by the world. They're being blocked by what they believe about themselves. It's time to wake up to this reality. You can't afford to just accept your thoughts as facts. Just because you think it doesn't mean it's true. You have to ask, where did this belief come from? Who told me this? Is it helping me or holding me back? You've got to interrogate your beliefs like your future depends on it. Because it does, and don't expect it to be comfortable. Challenging your beliefs will feel like breaking rules. It will feel unnatural, but that's how you know you're growing. Growth always feels unfamiliar at first. That's not a signal to stop. That's a sign you're on the right path. Maybe you've been told you're not smart enough, not attractive enough, not strong enough. And maybe you've carried those beliefs for so long they feel like your identity. But they're not. They're just thought. And thoughts can change. You don't have to carry someone else's limitations anymore. You don't have to live a story that was never yours to begin with. Start rewriting your beliefs today. Every time a limiting thought shows up, challenge it directly. I'm too late. No, you're right on time to begin. I always mess things up. No, you've learned. And now you're better prepared. This is just who I am. No, it's who you've been. And that can change. This isn't about lying to yourself. It's about telling yourself a better truth. One that gives you freedom instead of fear. The way to shift your life is to become ruthless with your inner dialogue. You can't be passive anymore. You can't keep allowing that voice to run unchecked. If a friend spoke to you the way you speak to yourself, would you still call them a friend? If not, then why do you let those thoughts live in your mind? Start catching yourself in real time. The moment you hear yourself say something that limits your ability, your worth, your power, stop, pause, replace it. You don't need to overthink it. Just make the shift, one thought at a time. That's how confidence is built. That's how strength is developed. Not by waiting to feel different, but by choosing to think different. And don't just stop at thoughts. Take action that contradicts your old loads. If you believe you're not a leader, speak up in that meeting. If you believe you're not worthy, take the risk anyway. If you believe you're too broken, show up for yourself with love and discipline. Nothing shatters a limiting belief faster than acting in opposition to it. This takes practice. It takes repetition. You're not going to uproot years of false thinking in one day. But if you commit to this, if you do it every time that belief shows its face, something powerful will happen. You'll start to feel free. You'll stop shrinking. You'll start making decisions based on your vision, not your fear, and freedom. That's what this is really about. The freedom to be who you truly are, without the chains of doubt holding you back. The freedom to live without the weight of old labels dragging you down. The freedom to choose your life instead of settling for the one you've been handed. You are not your past. You are not your failures. You are not the sum of the negative thoughts you've repeated to yourself in moments of pain. You are what you choose to believe going forward. And you can choose a new belief right now. Not next week. Not after something good happens. Now, believe that you can learn. Believe that you can lead. Believe that you are worthy of love, of success, of peace. Even if it feels foreign, especially if it feels foreign. Because that discomfort, that's your old beliefs losing their grip. That's what growth feels like. This is your invitation to step into a new identity. One that's not based on fear or shame or regret, but on truth, power, and possibility. And all it takes is the courage to question every belief that's been holding you down. Not just once, every day, every thought, every decision. You don't need to wait for someone else to tell you it's possible. You need to decide for yourself that you're done living under false limits. You've played small long enough. You've let fear speak too loudly for too long. Now it's your turn. Speak back, take control, challenge everything that tries to convince you that you can't. Because you can, and once you realize that, once you live it, there's no going back. You'll look at your old beliefs and wonder how you ever believed them in the first place. You'll feel that shift deep in your bones. That's not just self-improvement, that's self-liberation. So from this moment forward, make a new rule. No belief goes unchallenged. If it limits you, it has to go. If it shrinks you, it has to be questioned. Your future is too important. Your potential is too powerful. Your time is too valuable. Step into the life that's waiting for you. The one beyond the lies. The one where you're free to grow, to build, to become everything you were meant to be. It begins now. It begins with the belief that you are no longer defined by your limits. You are defined by what you decide to believe next. Make that belief unstoppable. Make it unshakable. Make it yours. Number 6, use your breath to master your emotions. The fastest way to take back control of your life is to take control of your breath. In the middle of chaos, in the middle of fear, when your mind is racing and your heart is pounding, there's one thing you can always reach for, and that's your breath. Most people never realize they spend years trying to fix everything on the outside without ever learning to manage what's happening inside. But if you want to master your emotions, if you want to stay grounded when life feels out of control, you need to start with your breath. When something triggers you, stress, anger, anxiety, self-doubt, you can feel it. Your chest tightens, your thoughts start spinning, your muscles tense up, and without realizing it, your breath becomes shallow, fast, weak. That's not just a symptom, it's the cause. Because when your breath becomes chaotic, your entire nervous system follows. Your emotions take over, and you lose control. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can flip the switch. You can go from emotional chaos to clarity in seconds. Not by thinking hard, not by forcing yourself to be calm, but by breathing differently. Because your breath is the most direct line to your emotional state. You change your breath, you change your state. That's not hype, that's biology. You've been taught to push through pain, to distract yourself, to escape it. But nobody taught you the one tool you've had since the day you were born. You don't need a phone. You don't need a book. You don't need someone to tell you what to do. You just need to pause and breathe with intention, deeply, slowly, consciously. Try it right now. Breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold for 4. Breathe out through your mouth for 4. Do it again and again. You're not just calming your body, you're sending a signal to your brain that says, I'm safe, I'm in control. That one breath can be the difference between reaction and response, between spiraling and staying steady. When you learn to use your breath, emotions no longer run your life. You don't snap when you're angry. You don't shut down when you're overwhelmed. You don't fall apart when life pushes hard. You breathe, you ground, you lead yourself forward. Think about the last time you lost control emotionally. Maybe it was an argument. Maybe it was a failure. Maybe it was a moment of panic or heartbreak or fear. Did you stop to breathe? Did you center yourself before speaking, before acting? Or did you get swept up in the emotion and regret it later? That regret, that chaos, it could have been avoided, not with a complicated strategy, not with years of training, just with a few deep breaths. That's how powerful it is. But most people overlook it. They treat breath like background noise. But it's not. It's your anchor. It's your reset button. It's your superpower. There's a reason elite athletes, soldiers, performers, and leaders train their breath. Because they know that when pressure hits, it's not talent that keeps you calm. It's training. You don't rise to the occasion. You fall to your level of preparation. And breathwork is preparation for life's hardest moments. You don't have to wait for stress to hit to practice. Train yourself now. Every morning, spend a few minutes breathing with focus. Inhale with awareness. Exhale with intention. Feel your body. Feel the air. Stay present. This is your emotional gym. This is where mental strength is built. Not when everything's falling apart, but when you practice in peace, so you're ready under pressure. You've been told emotions are hard to control, but they're not impossible to manage. You just need the right tools. Breath gives you space between trigger and action. It gives you clarity when the mind wants to idle. It gives you patience when you want to scream. It gives you calm when everything feels like it's crashing down. It's also the key to healing, because emotions live in the body. Anxiety, grief, anger, they're not just thoughts. They're energy stuck in your nervous system. And when you breathe deeply, slowly, consistently, you move that energy. You release what's been trapped. You let go of what no longer serves you. You stop carrying the past in your chest. And here's the thing, this isn't something you do once and forget. It's a way of living. You carry it into your work, into your relationships, into the way you talk to yourself. The person who masters their breath becomes unshakable. Not because they never feel emotion, but because they're no longer controlled by it. You might not be able to control what happens around you. People will still disappoint you. Things will still go wrong. Life will still throw challenges your way. But your breath, that belongs to you, always. And as long as you have it, you are never powerless. So the next time fear rises, pause. The next time anger flares, breathe. The next time doubt creeps in, slow down. Don't run from the feeling. Don't push it away. Just breathe into it. Let your body know it's safe to stay. Let your mind return to stillness. That's how you lead yourself through the hard times. This practice doesn't just change your day, it changes your life. Because once you realize that calm is a choice, that clarity is available at any moment, you stop giving your power away to circumstances, to people, to emotions. You become the one who decides how you show up, and that is freedom. Make this your standard, not just when it's easy, especially when it's hard, when your heart is racing, when you feel like quitting, when everything feels like too much. That's your moment. That's when you claim your power, with a breath, with a pause, with presence. So from this moment forward, let your breath be your guide. Let it be the tool you turn to when life demands your best. You don't need more noise. You don't need more stress. You need silence, stillness, presence. And that starts with one deep breath, again and again, until calm becomes who you are, not just what you practice. Number 7, focus only on what you can control. The fastest way to take your power back is to stop wasting your energy on what you can't control. That's the difference between people who feel stuck and people who feel strong. One is reacting to everything. The other is focused on what they can change. If you spend your time obsessing over outcomes, people's opinions, or things already gone, you will feel helpless, anxious, and frustrated. But if you focus all your attention on what you can do, how you can show up, and what's in your hands right now, everything shifts. Life is unpredictable. People will hurt you. Plans will fall apart. Unexpected problems will show up when you least need them. But the one thing that never changes is your ability to decide how you respond. And that one choice, what you focus on, is the foundation of your peace, your strength, and your future. Think about how much of your life you've already spent trying to control things you never could. Trying to get people to like you, trying to make everything perfect, trying to guarantee that nothing ever goes wrong. It's exhausting, isn't it? And it never works. Because no matter how hard you try, you can't control someone else's attitude. You can't control the past. You can't control the weather, the market, or the things people say behind your back. But here's what you can control. You can control your habits. You can control your response to failure. You can control your discipline, your standards, your effort, and the way you talk to yourself every single day. And that is more than enough to change your life. You want to feel free? Focus only on what you can control. You want to stop feeling anxious all the time? Let go of the things outside your reach. That means if someone's opinion of you changes, you don't lose sleep over it. That means if a plan falls through, you don't give up. You pivot. That means when something bad happens, you don't drown in why it happened. You ask yourself, what can I do now? That shift in focus is where your strength begins. Because when you stop blaming everything else, you start building everything inside. You become the kind of person who doesn't just survive change. You lead through it. Who doesn't just wish things were different. You make things different, one decision at a time. Most people don't fail because of what happens to them. They fail because they get distracted by things they can't control. They worry so much about what might go wrong, they never give their full attention to what they can do right now. They wait for motivation, for a sign, for circumstances to be easier. But those who win in life, they don't wait. They focus. They take action. They do what they can with what they have, where they are, and that's what moves them forward. Every single day, life will test you. People will test your patience. Circumstances will test your strength. And in every moment you have two choices. You can focus on the problem or focus on your power. You can worry or you can work. You can complain or you can commit. But you can't do both. You have to choose. And your choice will shape everything. You see, focusing only on what you can control doesn't make you passive. It makes you powerful. It doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop draining your energy on things that don't serve you. It means you become intentional, strategic, unshakable, because your focus is no longer scattered across what ifs. It's locked into what is. And the truth is, there's always something you can control. Even when everything feels uncertain. Even when life feels unfair. You can always control your breath. You can control how you treat people. You can control whether you give up or keep going. Whether you react with anger or respond with strength. That's real power. And it's already inside you. You just have to stop giving it away. Ask yourself right now, what are you giving your energy to that you can't control? Are you waiting for someone to apologize? Are you obsessing over how fast others are moving? Are you paralyzed by things that might happen but haven't yet? If so, bring your focus back. Come back to your lane. Come back to your center. That's where your life starts to rise. You don't need to fix everything. You don't need to control everyone. You just need to take full ownership of your space, of your decisions, of your next move. That's it. When you do that, you stop feeling powerless. You stop feeling like life is happening to you. You realize that you are a creator, not a victim. You are a builder, not a reactor. You are in charge of your mindset, your effort, and your path. Let other people be unpredictable. Let the world be chaotic. Let the noise exist. You don't need to control it. You just need to be clear about you, about what you value, about what you're building, about what matters to your growth. Because when you stay focused on what you can control, you become immovable. You become the kind of person people trust, respect, and follow. This is not just advice. It's a way of life. It's how you protect your energy. It's how you grow faster than the distractions. It's how you stay calm when everyone else is losing their head. Because you're not waiting for perfect conditions. You're not relying on other people's behavior. You're not looking around for someone to hand you peace. You're creating it. You're choosing it. You're living it. Right here. Right now. And that kind of mindset, it wins over time. It outlasts chaos. It overcomes failure. Because it's grounded. It's disciplined, and it's free from the mental trap of trying to control the uncontrollable. So from this day forward, decide, no more wasted focus, no more emotional energy spent on things you cannot change. You are here to take full responsibility for your lane, your voice, your actions, your choices. And that's more than enough to build the feast you want. Keep your mind where your power is. Keep your focus on what you can change, and leave everything else where it belongs. Outside of you. Your future is not built by what happens around you. It's built by what you choose to do with what's already in your hands. So make that choice now. Take back your focus. Take back your energy. And start building forward with power. Number 8. Build mental discipline through daily small wins. You don't need a giant breakthrough to change your life. You just need one small win today. One choice that proves to your mind, I'm in control. That's how discipline is built. Not by waiting for motivation, not by chasing perfection, but by stacking tiny victories that no one else sees, day after day, until your habits start to reflect your strength. Most people get it wrong. They think discipline is about pressure, force, willpower. But real discipline isn't loud. It's quiet. It's the decision to get up when you don't feel like it. It's the commitment to keep your word, even when no one is watching. It's the refusal to break your own standards. Not once, not sometimes, but every day. That's how you build mental discipline, through daily small wins that shift who you are. Think about the way you talk to yourself when you keep a promise. You feel powerful. You feel proud. You feel aligned. That's not just a good feeling. That's psychological proof that you can trust yourself. And that self-trust, that's everything. Because when you trust yourself, you don't need to overthink. You don't need to second guess. You just do. Because your habits already reflect your mission. The problem is, most people wait for the perfect time. They wait to feel ready. They wait for the big moment to prove themselves. But the truth is, the small moments are the test. When you choose to make your bed when no one will notice, when you drink water instead of reaching for sugar, when you say no to distractions and yes to focus, that's where your future is decided. Not in one massive action, but in the dozens of small ones you take every day. And here's what most don't realize. Small wins are not small, they're powerful, because each one rewires your mind to believe, I follow through, I finish what I start. I don't need to feel perfect to take action. That's the mindset that separates the frustrated from the fulfilled, the talkers from the doers. So how do you start building that discipline? Start with one win, early in the day. Make it easy, simple, manageable. Something that gives you momentum. It could be getting out of bed without hitting snooze, writing down your top 3 priorities, doing 10 minutes of movement. It's not about impressing anyone. It's about proving to yourself that you show up. Then stack another win and another. Each time you keep a promise to yourself, you earn confidence. Each time you follow through on the little things, the big things start to feel possible. You build a reputation with yourself, and that reputation becomes your identity. You don't need to control the whole day. Just the next 5 minutes. Just the next task. Just the next decision. That's how discipline works. It's not about how far you can go in one race. It's about how consistent you can be over time. That consistency will outlast talent. It will outlast motivation. It will carry you when you feel stuck. But be warned, discipline isn't convenient. It doesn't always feel good. There will be days you want to quit. Moments where you feel like your efforts don't matter. But that's where the battle is won. Because if you only follow through when you feel like it, you're not disciplined. You're dependent on emotion. And emotions are unstable. Discipline isn't. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when the mood is gone. Discipline is the quiet victory of waking up early, even when the bed feels warm. Discipline is putting the phone down and doing the work. Discipline is saying no to temporary comfort, so you can say yes to lasting pride. You can't fake that. You can't outsource it. You have to earn it, daily. And let me tell you, when you start collecting these wins, you change. You don't just change your routine. You change your beliefs. You stop seeing yourself as someone who's trying. You start seeing yourself as someone who's capable, reliable, strong. And that identity, that's what builds real momentum. Maybe you've been doubting yourself. Maybe you've been stuck in the cycle of starting and stopping. Maybe every time you break a promise to yourself, it chips away at your self-esteem. That stops now. Not with one giant leap, but with a single decision to win today. One small win that says, I'm back. I'm focused. I'm in control. And the beauty is, you don't need anyone's permission. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need to know every step. You just need to start with what you have, where you are. One decision, one win, one disciplined moment. That's how people rebuild their life. Not by overhauling everything overnight, but by stacking one win on top of another until the pattern becomes identity. Until the identity becomes reality. And suddenly, you're not just surviving, you're rising. Not because it was easy, but because you earned it one choice at a time. So what's your win today? What's the one thing you can do right now that will make you proud tonight? Do it. And tomorrow, do it again. Don't aim for perfect, aim for consistent. Don't wait for motivation. Build momentum and let those small wins carry you where big dreams alone never could. Because in the end, success isn't just about talent. or luck. It's about discipline. And discipline is built on daily small wins. Not just today, every day. You have everything you need to begin. The question is, will you use it? Will you rise? Will you build your discipline? One small win at a time, until your life reflects your strength. Start now. Decide. Win the next 5 minutes. That's where it all begins. Number 9, create powerful routines that align with your goals. If you want to change your life, the battle isn't won in big, random bursts of effort. It's won quietly, every day in the routines you build. Routines aren't just habits. They're the foundation of your future. When your daily actions line up with your goals, your results don't just happen, they multiply. But when your routines are scattered, inconsistent, or disconnected from what you truly want, your dreams stay just that, dreams. Too many people think motivation will carry them through. They wait for the perfect feeling, the right opportunity, or an inspiration that will hit them out of nowhere. But that's a mistake. Motivation is fleeting. It doesn't stick. The secret to lasting success lies in creating powerful routines that support your goals, no matter how you feel. Imagine your day is a machine. Every routine is a gear. When those gears are designed well and turn smoothly, the machine works effortlessly. When the gears are rusty or out of place, the machine struggles and breaks down. Your life is exactly the same. Your routines are the gears that keep your goals moving forward. If you want to win, you need to build strong, reliable routines that fuel your progress every single day. Start by being clear about what you want. Your routines have to connect directly to your goal. It's easy to fall into busy work, doing things that look productive but don't actually move you forward. That's the danger of routines without purpose. Ask yourself, does this routine help me get closer to my dream? If not, it needs to change. Next, design your routines around your natural rhythms. When are you most focused? When do you have the most energy? When are you most creative? Build your routines to take advantage of those peak times. For example, if mornings are when your mind is sharpest, schedule your most important work. Then, if evenings are quieter, use that time for reflection, planning, or relaxation. Aligning routines with your body's natural flow makes discipline easier because you're working with yourself, not against yourself. Consistency beats intensity every time. It's better to do a little every day than to burn out after a huge effort once a week. Powerful routines aren't about how hard you work. They're about how reliably you show up. This is where champions are made, not in perfect performances, but in the habit of returning every day, even when it's tough. A common mistake is trying to overhaul everything at once. That leads to overwhelm, frustration, and quitting. Instead, focus on building one routine at a time. Master that before adding another. When a routine becomes part of your identity, it no longer feels like a chore. It becomes part of who you are, and that's when it sticks. Your routines must also include time for rest and recharge. Growth isn't just about doing more. It's about doing better. Overworking yourself leads to burnout and setbacks. Powerful routines balance effort with recovery, focus with flexibility. They build resilience, so when challenges come, you have the strength to keep going. Remember, your environment shapes your routines. If your surroundings don't support your goals, routines become a battle. Set up your space so it encourages your success. Clear the distractions. Organize your tools. Surround yourself with reminders of your purpose. The easier it is to do the right thing, the more likely you'll stick with it. Another secret is to review and refine your routines regularly. Life changes, goals evolve, and what worked last year might not work today. Take time weekly or monthly to ask yourself, are my routines still aligned with my goals? Are they serving me or holding me back? Adapt, improve, grow. This keeps your routines fresh and your motivation high. Don't underestimate the power of rituals within routines. Small actions that mark the beginning or end of your day create mental cues that prepare your mind for focus or rest. It could be a cup of tea, a few minutes of meditation, or writing a simple to-do list. These rituals ground you and make your routines feel intentional. Also, track your progress. When you see your consistency, your small wins adding up, it fuels your confidence. It's proof you're moving forward. This feedback loop makes it easier to keep your routines strong because you experience the results firsthand. Be patient with yourself. Building powerful routines takes time and effort. You'll have setbacks. You'll miss days. That's normal. What matters is your commitment to get back on track. Every time you do, you strengthen your mental muscles and bring your goals closer. The life you want is not built in a day, but it is built every day through the choices you make. Powerful routines give you the structure to turn those choices into momentum. They protect you from distraction, overwhelm, and doubt. They create a steady, unstoppable path toward your vision. Imagine looking back a year from now and seeing how much you've accomplished, not because of bursts of luck or sudden inspiration, but because you designed your daily life with purpose. That's the real power of routines. They don't just change your days, they change your destiny. So take control of your daily habits. Design routines that push you closer to your dreams. Protect your time. Honor your energy. Commit to the small actions that build unstoppable momentum. When your routines align with your goals, success isn't just possible, it becomes inevitable. Start today. Make your routines your secret weapon. Build a life where your goals aren't far-off wishes, but natural outcomes of your daily actions. Your future depends on what you do right now. Create routines that serve your greatness and watch your life transform. Number 10. Speak to yourself like someone you trust. You are the one person you will spend every moment with for the rest of your life. The voice inside your head is always talking, always judging, always guiding, and the way you speak to yourself shapes everything you are and everything you become. Imagine if that voice was as kind, as honest, and as trustworthy as your closest friend. How would your life change if you treated yourself with the respect and encouragement you give to someone you truly believe in? Many people don't realize that the language they use with themselves is either their biggest ally or their worst enemy. You may not hear it aloud, but the words you say inside your mind have the power to lift you higher or pull you down deeper than anything else in your life. If your inner dialogue is harsh, critical, or filled with doubt, it becomes impossible to believe in your own strength. But if you speak to yourself like someone you trust, your confidence grows, your resilience strengthens, and your capacity to overcome anything expands. Think about how you talk to your best friend when they're struggling. You offer encouragement, reassurance, and honest advice. You don't shout insults or throw blame. You don't remind them of every mistake they've made. Instead, you remind them of their value, their potential, and their ability to rise again. Why then do so many people speak to themselves in the exact opposite way? Why do we allow our own minds to become a battleground of negativity and fear? This isn't about pretending everything is perfect or ignoring your faults. It's about shifting the tone. It's about choosing to be on your own side. When you speak to yourself with trust, you become your own coach and your own cheerleader. You create a safe mental space where growth happens because mistakes are seen as lessons, not failures. Where setbacks don't crush you, but teach you how to come back strong. Start by noticing your inner dialogue. Listen to how you talk to yourself in moments of stress, disappointment, or fear. Are you harsh? Are you impatient? Are you doubting your worth? Awareness is the first step toward change. You can't fix what you don't recognize. Once you hear those negative voices, you can choose to respond differently. Practice replacing criticism with kindness. When you catch yourself thinking, "I can't do this," say instead, "I'm learning how to do this." When you think, "I'm not good enough," remind yourself, "I'm capable and worthy of success." This doesn't mean lying to yourself. It means speaking truthfully, but with compassion. It means building a foundation of trust, where your mind feels safe enough to take risks and keep moving forward. Trust in yourself is built slowly, like any relationship. It requires patience and consistency. You won't silence the negative voice overnight, but with every kind word you offer yourself, that voice loses its power. With every moment of self-respect, you strengthen your belief in your own ability to handle whatever life throws your way. Imagine how different your day would be if the first thing you heard in the morning was a voice saying, "You've got this. You're prepared. You're enough." That energy changes your posture, your mood, and your decisions. It fuels your actions with confidence rather than fear. It gives you the courage to keep going when the path feels uncertain. Speaking to yourself like someone you trust also means holding yourself accountable, but in a way that builds growth, not shame. When you fall short of your goals, instead of beating yourself up, ask, What can I learn from this? Then speak with encouragement. I will do better next time, because I am committed. This mindset keeps you moving forward without getting stuck in regret or self-doubt. Your self-talk shapes your habits, your choices, and your relationship. When you trust yourself, you set boundaries that protect your energy. You choose people and opportunities that align with your values. You don't settle for less because you believe you deserve more. That kind of self-respect comes from the voice you carry inside. It's important to remember that you're not alone in this struggle. Everyone battles negative thoughts and self-doubt. The difference is, who wins the conversation? You have the power to become the strongest voice in your mind. To be the person who says, keep going, when others want to quit. To be the voice that calms your fears and ignites your hope. Changing the way you speak to yourself requires practice. Write down affirmations that feel authentic to you. Repeat them every day. When you feel overwhelmed, pause and talk to yourself as you would to someone you care deeply about. Be patient with the process, because self-trust is a journey, not a destination. When your inner voice becomes your ally, you unlock potential you never knew existed. You begin to see challenges as opportunities. Failures become feedback. You develop a resilience that carries you through storms instead of breaking you. Your mind becomes a place of strength, not a source of struggle. You don't need to wait for permission to speak kindly to yourself. You are already worthy of your own trust and respect. Choose your words carefully. Choose them with love and intention. Build a relationship with yourself that is rooted in belief, encouragement, and unwavering support. Start now. Speak to yourself like someone you trust. Become your own strongest supporter. Your life will transform not because the world changes, but because your mind does. And when your mind believes in you, there's nothing you can't overcome.